Well, howdy do there, everyone. Welcome back to the coffee break. Got my coffee. I'm ready to sit here and gab at you for a few minutes and take a time out. And as we get started, I want to remind you that I do these little gab sessions about 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, hopefully. And I'm pretty consistent about that. So if you'd like to join me, then you want to make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified about future videos. And I just want you to also know that you can share your comments, your experiences, your thoughts, your ideas in the comment boxes down below. And I want to encourage that because that's part of me trying to carry on the conversation with you in this manner. So feel free to do that. And don't forget to share the video with other people any way you want to if you're so inclined. And give me a thumbs up if you like the stories or the topic of the day or what have you. And we'll keep it going, okay? In the meantime, we're starting a new gab session here for 3 little stories that I have reminded myself of or been reminded of that I want to share with y'all. And I'm going to break it up into the 3 videos, okay? Into 3 videos so that I don't share them all with you all at once and take up too much of your time in any one day. Okay, so how do we get started? Let's see. Well, the first thing I should share with you about being reminded of these stories is that I was going to the coffee shop this morning, as I like to do frequently, and I had the radio on, and I am listening to the radio host share some stories. And he reminded me of my own personal experiences related to the stories he was remembering or that was in the news that he was discussing. And so the 3 stories I'm going to share with you will be based on this moment when I'm listening to the radio host share his stories. And the first story that I want to share with you today is about hallucinating on the job. Very dangerous situation. You don't want to be caught up in hallucinating on the job because depending on what kind of job you have, it could be very dangerous, or, you know, someone might think you're a little loony and say you don't need to have that job no more. Anyway, all 3 of these stories that I'm going to share with you over the next 3 videos all take place in Texas. I was a lot younger and I was trying to make my way and figure out how to survive and what my passions were and how to get involved with my passions. And of course, as life will have it, you have to think about how to pay the bills. And so that means going to work, finding a job. Maybe that job doesn't have anything to do with your passions, but you are finding that job and you are going to work and you're going to make some money and be able to survive and pay your bills. At least that's the goal, right? Anyway, I remember this time when I had gotten a job with a delivery. It was a delivery job for a reprographics company. Okay, and reprographics are reproducing architectural designs, making copies of them basically, and sending the duplicate copies back to the company that ordered them. So I was in charge of delivering the copies. So I worked for this reprographic company as a delivery driver, driving their company truck, and I would wait for the duplicate copies to be finished, and they would be rolled up and stuck inside some tubes, and then I'd take off and go to the address and deliver them. And I did this for a little while. I'm not sure how long I actually had that job, but I had it for a little while. But I realized at some point that I might need to supplement my income with another job. So I ended up getting another full-time job, which goes into story number 2. So I took a second job, suffice it to say, and I was working 2 full-time jobs at the same time at different time schedules. So I would go to work at the reprographic company, and I would work all during the day there, like 8 to 5 or something like that. And I would then go home, catch a few hours of sleep, and then go to another job at a convenience store where I worked the graveyard shift. So I worked from 11 p.m. until like 7 a.m., right? So 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm at the convenience store, and then from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm at the reprographics company delivering the reprographics. That didn't leave a whole lot of extra time to sleep and keep on a schedule where I could feel sustained. So suffice it to say, I ended up going and taking no-dose and trying to stay awake to accommodate working 2 full-time jobs. And I guess I was just kind of living off of no-dose for a little while, because what happened was I would get up at like 10 o'clock at night, and it's dark outside. So I would go to work at dark, and I'd work all through the first job and all through the second job. Then I would go home, and it would be dark when I went to bed. So it was dark when I got up, and it was dark when I went to bed. I didn't have any clue if it was night or day. And on top of that, I started taking these no-dose, which is the real hitch in the story here. I started taking these no-dose and trying to keep my act together and keep going. And I guess like with anything that you get over the counter at the drugstore or grocery store, wherever you buy these things, you have to be very careful taking them because you could overdo it. So I'm popping these no-dose like candy and trying to stay awake and keep going and deliver my reprographics and then work at the convenience store and make the money to bring home the bacon to pay the bills. Anyway, that's what I was doing. And so what happened was, as a result of all that, was that one day I very clearly remember going to work at the reprographic company, and I was waiting for my packages to go and make the deliveries for the first section of the day. And I got my package, threw it in the seat, and I would have sworn my manager at the time told me that I had a very special package to deliver. It was a black negligee inside this package, and it had to get there, and it couldn't be lost or misplaced or anything like that. You had to guard it with your life, this black negligee. I don't know why I thought that he was giving me a black negligee in a package to deliver when we delivered reprographics. But I would have sworn that's what I was asked to deliver. So I got in the truck and I take off and I start driving. I'm probably not even a mile from the store. And I look over on the seat, because that's where I put all the reprographics. I just put them in on the passenger side seat and take off and go to the address. I look over there on that seat, and I don't see the package, which is this black negligee that I'm supposed to deliver. I don't see it, and I start freaking out. Oh no! I pull over the side of the road, and I get out, I run around to the passenger side, open the door, I'm looking all over the place, under the seat, behind the seat, in the glove compartment. I am looking everywhere inside the cab of that truck. Okay, there's not a lot of places to look, so you can't miss anything that's in there. That's a package. I couldn't find the package. I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh no, I have misplaced, I have lost this very important package. It's a black negligee. What am I going to do? What am I going to tell my boss? And in the middle of doing all that searching and all that freaking out, I realized I was hallucinating. There was never a package with the black negligee in it that had to be delivered. Only the reprographics. And I thought, oh, I couldn't believe it that I'd actually imagined all this. And I contributed that, or attributed that, to the fact that I was working 2 full-time jobs and eating no-dose like it was like candy. So I started hallucinating. I was starting getting cuckoo and, trying to stay awake so I could keep things going. And it was right then and there that I knew I had to make some kind of change and probably have to give up a job. So I ended up giving up my reprographics delivery job over that hallucination episode. Isn't that funny? Isn't that strange? Have you ever had an experience like that where you just, you're just trying to keep it together and then you just lose it out of nowhere because of something like taking too much no-dose and working too hard and not getting enough sleep? And not knowing if it's night or day. Seriously. That was quite an experience, and when I look back on it, it was pretty funny, and at the same time it wasn't funny because I was freaking out. So be very careful if you go to the drugstore and start taking things that are over the counter, like no-dose, for example, or caffeine tablets, or whatever it is that you're going to get. Don't overdo it. Make sure that you're being sensible and reasonable about it, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to jeopardize yourself or somebody else or your job or what have you. So that's my hallucination story on the job. As silly and weird as it is. So I've got 2 more stories that continue on from this story. And the next one's going to be about the convenience store, and I'll share that with you in the next video. So tune back in, get that notification bell clicked on so that you can receive that video, and we'll tell that story next time. Until then, y'all have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.